Hello, my name's Dave Cocoran. I'm the Director of Student Support at the University of Chichester, and I'm delighted to be offering a message today to parents and guardians of our students who'll be joining us in September, and we're really looking forward to that moment. Now, normally I'd be meeting parents and guardians in a main hall, and we'd be having this talk for about 20 minutes and you'd be asking me questions, and it's a really nice two-way process. Obviously it's a little bit different this year with COVID on the cards, and the university is really well prepared at the moment, ready for meeting your sons and daughters in regard to COVID, so I'm going to touch base on that again in a moment. But I did just want to make reference to where you can gain extra information, and that's through the website, and I'm sure you know how to access that now through the University of Chichester website, and it's a section called How We Will Help You, and if you look in there you'll see a parent carer guide, and that will have more detail that will add on to the information I'm just passing on now. This is really, as I say, just a welcome and to let you know the sort of resources that your sons and daughters can access while they're here, but it's also to just point out just the relationship that we will have with your sons and daughters, and that being one of adult to adult. And it's a strange one, particularly for parents actually, because the relationship changes slightly, because as our relationship is with your son or daughter, that means the information we share is with them, and that can feel a little bit personal sometimes if it's not coming directly to parents and guardians when you've been used to that, particularly if people have been at school before. So it was really to put that out there, and that if there's any concerns you ever have, that your sons and daughters can raise those, but actually for the most part, and I would say probably in 99% of cases, your sons and daughters from past experience, when they come here, have a fantastic time and a really good 3-year experience. But just to point out some of the aspects that they might want to tune into, this information will be passed on to them through their own induction arrangements, both in their area and centrally as well. One, for example, is student money, and hopefully your sons and daughters have applied in most cases for Student Finance England or the equivalent one in the UK, and that money should have come through by the time they start. If there isn't, and it hasn't arrived yet, then they can also access something called the Hardship Fund, and the Hardship Fund is an internal fund that I operate with colleagues, and it's about $250,000, so it sounds a decent amount, but actually when you get lots of applications it's a reasonably limited amount. But it could be something like 400 plus that a student gets for that. And it can help with transport, and it can help with studies and so on. So well worth looking into, and forms can be picked up on that. But of course, particularly this year and since March, a lot of our access has been online. So without doubt, students will be able to access this personally, but they could also access by contacting us via contact numbers which will be provided to them as well. And the key element or way through to our service is through the SIS, and the SIS has a front operational desk which is in the bottom of the LRC, but equally as a parent you might want to try and reach us via the SIS desk as well, and that's also online, so you're welcome to look for that detail, and that's on our website. The other things that might be really beneficial for your sons and daughters are things like nursing access at a point that might be needed, counselling at a point that might be needed, and of course some young people and mature students have mental health difficulties as well, and that's perfectly acceptable. And the reason I'm saying it like that is the more we know about that, the easier it is for us to work with people to be able to make it an even playing field for to be completing their studies. We would welcome any exchange of information and support that we can offer in that area. We would really encourage your sons and daughters to be working with us, particularly at this time around COVID, and they have the shared responsibility. Our plans are really advanced now in terms of our risk assessments, particularly in terms of routes around campus and numbers that are allowed in a classroom at any one time, in residential blocks and so on. But it will be a collective effort, and we will always welcome parents and guardians' views on that, or if there's any conversations that happen that create concern, or even actually fill you with absolute reassurance of something that we're doing. We'd love to hear from you, and you can always get in touch with me, and my email address is d.corcoran@chi.ac.uk. I'm going to do a similar brief message to your sons and daughters for their induction, and I put out to you that you're welcome to contact us at any time, but bear in mind the element I mentioned about the relationship with the university being with the student and not the parent, but we welcome your contact, so it's a three-way street going forward. Thank you.